get you matched up against the center or guard sometimes. What's your thought process in those moments, and what kind of advantage do you think you might have against interior offensive linemen as opposed to the tackles?
I mean, it's always kind of think first thing speed, mismatch, but I mean, honestly, just doing my job, winning my one-on-ones.
A couple against Ohio, I think there might have been 2 plays where you just drove the offensive lineman basically into the quarterback's lap.
Yeah.
How much fun is that? It just looks like.
I mean, definitely just getting off the ball. I mean, just playing as hard as I can, and I mean, he eventually. I mean, I just kind of got my way back there.
Go ahead. Ryan Day was talking about ups and downs throughout your career and kind of arriving now for Cummings University in the past. What do you see as maybe some of the downs that you went through on your journey to get to this point, and how does it feel now to be contributing in a meaningful way?
I mean, it's kind of the same ups and downs every player here kind of has to go through because you're playing at one of the best football teams in the nation. I mean, you got to go through the freshman process. You got to go through not starting when you want to. You got to go through everything like that. So, I mean, it's kind of just with now's day and age, you can definitely get up and get out if you need to, or you can kind of stick with it, and you kind of got to go up through those highs and lows. And I mean, that's definitely what I feel like I've had to gone through and go through, and it's kind of it's paid off for me.
What kept you sticking with it?
Honestly, the coaches here, the coaching staff, Coach Day, Coach Johnson. When Matt Patricia came in, he definitely got me to stay close. My defensive line. I mean, the brothers and the connections I've made definitely maybe not want to go anywhere else.
You talk about the different fronts you guys have played. A lot of you guys have moved around a lot, whether it's ends inside, linebackers outside. Just what is it like to be with a group that can be so versatile and show so many different fronts in the world?
It definitely just helps everybody kind of show their resume or build their resume. I mean, we all are such great athletes, and we're all such great football players that it doesn't really matter where we line up. We're going to go out there and play the game how we know how to play the game since we were this big. I mean, we're out there being football players.
It seems like with your games, you guys have done a pretty good job of staying in your rush lanes and not letting quarterbacks kind of get around you too much. Just how important will that be on Saturday against Washington?
Yeah, he's a great player, great athlete. I mean, you definitely got to cage the pocket and not let him play his game. And if you let him play his game, I mean, he's going to do a lot. So we definitely got to keep him caged in and do what we can.
How much of the first 3 games helped you in preparing for another mobile quarterback like DeMond Williams?
I mean, we played pretty much 3 pretty good mobile quarterbacks, so 3 dudes that can get out of the pocket and do the job that they need to. And I feel like it's definitely a build-up, and it's gotten to this point, and it should be great.
Where does he compare to the other 3 guys?
He's definitely really athletic. I mean, I'd say he's probably the quickest. I'd say so, and he's definitely slippery.
Caden, your recruiting class came in. You guys had to be very patient. Obviously, guys ahead of you were really good, and they stayed an extra year. How much did you guys as a class talk about this is our chance, we've waited for this moment longer than we thought we would, we got to take advantage of it? Was that any kind of conversation?
Yeah, I mean, definitely all of us are the ones that are still here in my class.
That many.
We definitely kind of kept a strong connection together because we knew we were some of few. So we definitely had to have a strong built connection together, and I feel like the ones that did stay and the ones that are here, I mean, we definitely love each other, and it's definitely a bond that we'll have forever because we're so tight.
Caden, when Coach Patricia came in and you guys learned you were going to be doing some different stuff with the fronts, did that do anything to give you guys like a new energy, a different energy up front, just knowing that you were going to start implementing some new stuff?
I mean, we definitely went from a really good defense to another really good defense. Sure. So, I mean, it wasn't really too much crazy things we were thinking about or kind of what could happen. We knew that he's going to come in with a great mindset, and we were going to have a great mindset with him coming in, and we were just going to do what we can to definitely help out his defense and make plays for ourselves.
Something that always comes up watching you or talking to people about you is your motor, just relentless effort, down to down. Like, is that something you've always had? Is it something you had to learn and build over time? How do you feel?
That's just how I played the game all my life. I mean, my dad coached me when I was little. He definitely would never let me take a play off. He would never let me kind of give up on a play because he said anything can happen, and I mean, that's just how I am. It's kind of that switch I have, and it's kind of my identity.
You guys probably dealt with this a bit, week one and Arch Manning, things like that, but, when there's so much hype about going up against a great offense, going up against a great quarterback, I guess, is there extra motivation to show up and show how good the defense is?
I mean, there's always motivation for this defense. I feel like we are always trying to make ourselves better every week, and we're always trying to be one step ahead of everybody, and we're always trying to get one step ahead and trying to stay motivated and create energy when it's not there.
What stands out most to you about their quarterback and what is his skill set and the way he can kind of do different stuff?
I mean, he can definitely be an X factor if he wants to be. He can definitely get out if he wants to be. He can definitely be a great athlete if he wants to be. And we definitely got to do everything that we can to stop that and be the best versions of ourselves out there.
All right, Caden, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Caden.
Thanks, Caden. Thank you.
Sweaty. All right, what's going on, guys?
Hey, Carson, I don't know how often you go up against Caden because he's an end and you're a center, but what are your impressions of him as a defensive lineman?
Yeah, I mean, he's insane. You know, at CC, I mean, well, I got to go against him a little bit kind of this past week and some stuff, and man, it's tough. You know, I'm used to kind of like the big guys like K-Mac and stuff like that. I mean, when you get a true edge in there who like gets off the ball like before you do, it's like, I mean, it's crazy. It's tough.
We did see him. I think he got lined up over the center against Ohio, and he was giving that guy some.
No, he's taking your lunch if you're not careful. Like he's really good. Yeah, he's really good.
Carson, this is a team. You guys have faced a great defensive line in Texas. This one can get pressure without doing a whole lot of blitzing.
Yeah.
What sort of challenge is that for you guys up front?
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's going to be a challenge of one-on-one blocks. I mean, I think, you know, what they've put on film, they run a lot of 5 down front. But obviously that's not something we're too unfamiliar of. You know, I know that's kind of like off the tree of, you know, kind of Coach Patricia, like them in Iowa or them in Illinois. And obviously the coach from Purdue last year, so we're obviously studying a lot of that film as well. But a lot of one-on-one block opportunities, which is great, you know, obviously because we've had a lot of experience in it, but also because it's going to be a great challenge for us and what we want to do this year. We're going to need to be really dominant in that aspect.
Ryan, so you can start playing passively if you have to go to the silent count, and that can't happen obviously on Saturday. I guess, how do you guard against that, and what's your role in making sure that doesn't happen when you guys probably will inevitably have to go silent?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just communication, you know, poison the noise. And for us, like, obviously it's going to be a really, you know, great atmosphere. You know, you hear all the stories. Obviously they're 22, at home right now. So it's going to be a really, really big challenge. But then again, you know, we've had a lot of experience in playing in, high pressure situations and high noise situations. We got a lot of veterans on our own line. Not only that, but we've had, you know, almost 2 weeks now have been able to, kind of iron some of those things out. And so the ability to kind of like trust and communicate that us and the quarterbacks are on the same page and everyone else is, focusing on if we're going on silent or what the communication on the on the count is. I think we're set up for it.
How did those games a couple of years ago help you in that situation? Penn State last year that you were left guard, Notre Dame in 23, Michigan in 23. How did those kind of environments maybe help you for this what's coming on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of like helps you not get rattled. You know what I mean? And for some guys, when it's your first time in one of those loud environments, you know, it's difficult. I mean, you lose one of your senses. I mean, people literally don't realize, like, I could be from me to you and I can't hear anything. You know what I mean? And so that's difficult. And then not only that, like with a team who's obviously, you know, has a great defensive front, it can be difficult at times. But being able to, like you said, you know, play in a couple of those games and have that experience, but not only me have that experience, but the other guys on the line have that experience as well. It kind of builds a good trust connection that we're like, all right, we got this.
How do you help Julian? Obviously, this will be the first time he's done that. How do you envision? Obviously, he has to handle it himself, but how do you help a quarterback who's going through that the first time?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, you know, it all comes down to trust. I mean, I try to, you know, be as consistent as I can so that he can trust me. I think honestly, it just really comes down to consistency, making sure we're on the same page, making sure I'm getting the ball to him when he wants it. And that, you know, he has trust that we're going to get our job done. We're going to protect him because, like I said, a lot of one-on-one blocks, so we're going to have to win our matchups and stuff like that this week, which is going to be, a great challenge for us. We're really super excited for it.
Hey, what do you tell your fellow linemen about keeping your cool in those kind of situations, Carson?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Penn State was an example, but what do y'all talk about, I guess, in between snaps or in between possessions about, you know how loud it's going to be, just keep it cool?
Yeah, I mean, well, a great thing, you know, we've done is, like, We prep for it in practice and stuff like that with the noise. But not only that, like, we kind of have that, like, it's us versus them mentality. I mean, our unit, versus the world and kind of things, stuff like that. And so, we have a great culture in the offensive line room where we can trust each other, and that we know that regardless of the situation, regardless of who's in front of us, like, we can get that job done. And so to have that trust in between us, I think is important in those high pressure situations.
Can you actually, don't think I'm being funny, I'm out
You're
a
good.
lot of auto racing. Can you actually feel the noise sometimes?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
What does it feel like?
I mean, I don't know if you ever stood in front of a speaker or something like that. I mean, you guys weren't called. You guys went out. I mean, if you're a little too close to the speaker when you're outside, you're kind of like, ooh, it's a little uncomfortable. Or you ever go to a concert, stuff like that, and it's, you can feel it in your chest. And but when you get on the field, obviously, we always say you sink the level of your training. It's kind of like the Navy SEALs talk. Coach Day talks about that a lot. When you sink the level of your training, it's almost you're not even thinking about it. You don't really feel that. You get to the point where you don't even hear it. I mean, obviously you can't hear anything, but you kind of just tune all that out.
Carson, you're one of the few members of your recruiting class left.
Mm-hmm.
Most of you guys had to wait your turn. I mean, you guys, I think a couple of years ago, most of you guys had to wait.
Yeah.
Caden, Kenyatta. Was there extra motivation? You guys talk about it in the off season, like, hey, this is our chance. We're finally seniors. We had to wait longer than we thought we were going to do it. You guys had to wait this.
Yeah, I mean, we had to prove something to that 2021 class. Holy crap, those guys were ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of guys in our class yet here who are really excited to go play, and really excited to kind of prove, that we've obviously been waiting our turn and been working really hard and putting a lot of, effort and commitment into our game and into our craft. So, like I said, like talking to KJ and CC and, and CJ and all those defensive guys, but not even them, like the guys on our side of the ball, like we're just excited to go play, honestly, at this point.
How hard was it to kind of have to wait? And your whole class was like that. I mean, Sonny was the other one who really started. He was supposed to be in the class.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, the youngling. But he's been great. But yeah, I mean, it's difficult. But like, in the Bible, Jeremiah 29:11, the plan the Lord has for you, and we write that up on our board every time before we go play a game. And so, like, just being able to trust the process, like trusting that, we'll play when it's our time, and then when it's our time, we got to go and put it on the field. So, just waiting our turn and perfecting our craft has been probably the most important thing.
Do you feel it? You guys are doing that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we have a ton of football left. Nothing's obviously set in stone, so we have a lot of games to play, a lot of experience to grow. I mean, a lot of growth that needs to happen before we get into those later games in the season. But it's a journey, and we're doing it together. So I think we're, everything we've been doing so far, we're definitely proud of. So being able to, continue that and compound that throughout the later games is going to be really important.
How much does Julian feel like the leader of this offense now than maybe 3 games ago?
Yeah, he's been a lot better. I mean, with his.
Yeah, give me an example. What are you talking about?
Yeah, like his vocality and stuff like that. I mean, I know like the Texas game, I went out there and I'm like, this guy's like saying a couple words, whatever for the guys. I'm like, all right, Jules, what you got? He's like, I don't know. but like now, I mean, he's getting in the circles, he's getting fired up. He's definitely come out of his, his shell a little bit more. And so, I mean, obviously he's a gunslinger. He can play. Obviously, we have trust in what he does, and just for him to trust us and trust the rest of the team to, protect him and get his job done, make his life easier, I think is important. And I think we're being able to do that.
I don't mean to lead you down this path, but has he been a little better than you thought he would be? How would you rate that?
I expect him to be the best. I mean, he's done exactly what my expectation is. I mean, he's a gunslinger. He goes up there and he might be a young guy, but he definitely commands, a lot, and he commands the offense really well.
The fact that Julian always seems to be the same, really even keel, does that bode well for him in situations like this, where because he's not going to get too high or too low, he's going to be the same thing, whether things are going well or maybe something didn't go well?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that's a sign of maturity. You know what I mean? I mean, for someone to go out there and, not get shell-shocked, but also, not get too high on himself if a play, really goes well or really doesn't. So, I mean, I think for a young guy to have that level of maturity, it's really cool to see, especially in a high-pressure environment like we're going to be in, this Saturday.
When you have a young quarterback, how important can a veteran center be?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important, but it's pretty cool to have a veteran center. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I think it just comes down to trust between me and him, and that he knows I'm gonna get the guys on the same page of what he wants to do. Because at the end of the day, his word trumps all. Like, if we're gonna be wrong, we're gonna be wrong together, and hopefully that makes us right. So just being able to, trust him and have him trust that we're gonna keep him safe is, all that matters.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Carson.
you guys. Thank you.
It's done. I would assume, but